So, my daughter told me that I couldn't record today because her Elf on the Shelf was in the studio. I wanted to tell her she don't pay no bills around here. She don't get studio privileges, and she just got right there right before I woke you up. But that's not what I wanted to talk about today. I got this urge to make a video, although I'm working outside of the studio today. I said, let me make this video, and y'all let me know if y'all rock with it or not. So I was listening to a book, started listening to it last week, and I was like, let me pull it back up. It's called A Hot Mess. I don't even know why I was drawn to it. Maybe because I'm attracted to a hot mess. Who knows? Anyway, so I'm listening to it, and I'm listening, and I'm getting emotions, and I'm getting feelings that I'm like, why am I feeling this? And then it dawned on me I was being triggered. Everybody's been passing around this word triggered, and for me, I had to go and look it up. So triggered, caused by a particular action, process, or a situation. And it says a trigger affects your emotional state and your ability to remain present in the moment. Synonyms of triggered are provoked, stalked, fueled, ignited, generated, and moved. So I said, why do I feel these triggers? Why do I feel these emotions? And then I was like, oh, because I lived through them. I've experienced them. I've had them happen to me. So I was like, I was being triggered or unable to stay within the present moment because I had to go back and see, well, if it bothers me, why does it bother me? So I'm out working today, and somebody said, I didn't even know that was you. You look good. And I was like, thanks. But that made me think about, I've been to 3 funerals in the past 6 months, but I've been to 3 funerals, and this one lady has said to me, and she doesn't know who I am unless I tell her who my mom is, and I make her remember who I am. And so the first time after we left the funeral, I went to the lady's house. My mom was buying jewelry from her, and she looked when I got to the door, because I'm nice, it's hot. We just left a funeral, so I tell my mama, just sit in the car, I'll get it. So I go knock on the door, and she say, oh, well, you are pretty, huh? And to me, it sounds like, oh, when you were a little girl or a baby, you was kind of funny looking, you was ugly. We wasn't too sure how you was gonna turn out, but it's good to see, you not ugly anymore. And maybe that's not what she meant at that time. I just left it alone. So another time, the same lady, when I was like, yeah, I'm Connie's daughter, blah, 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 she was like, oh, you are kind of cute, huh? And it's like, that triggers me because at one point I didn't feel pretty. I didn't feel attractive. I had low self-esteem put into me as a little girl that I had to undo. And the reason why I had to undo it was because God gave me my first 2 kids that almost resemble everything about me. So everything that I didn't like in myself, I had to make sure that they wouldn't feel the same way within themselves. I had to over exaggerate how beautiful they were, and the features that they had of mine that I was taught not to like, I had to love them. And in turn, it made me love them in myself. And so I'm wondering how many people, and the reason why it triggers me is because I'm a Southern girl. I've been raised in the South my whole life. We know when you say something, you're really saying something else. For instance, Tyler Perry said it on the movie, say if it's an ugly baby, you say, oh, I sure do like his shoes. Or you compliment everything else because you can't compliment the looks. So you say he precious. She dressed nice. She got a head full of hair. Like, there's so many different ways to be insulted but not be insulted. And I figure if I was triggered by that, how many other people are triggered by things that don't keep them within the present moment? So it reminded me to draw it full circle. Two strangers that I met today. One was like, you beautiful. You got a grown kid. Like, you sure you're not lying about your age? And that felt like a compliment instead of a compliment on top of an insult. So and I'm like, and one thing I told her, as I said, thank God I don't look like what I've been through, because if God was to be 100% honest and he would let you look like what you've been through, nobody would say black don't crack no more. Nobody would say it would crack, it would crumble, it would be dirt on the ground, like, because we are tested the most. We are targeted the most. So we have to be 3 or 4 times better to even be in the same running as somebody else. So I say that to say, everybody putting on a front to be strong, because I feel like I've been the strong one. My friend feel like she been the strong one, and I got to take whatever I got and deal with it, and I can't put my problems off on her. Meanwhile, she already knows something off with me, and I know something off with her, and we all are trying to be the strong friend. Nobody wants to be, nobody is going to volunteer and say, I'm the weak friend. Nobody's going to. So everybody running around here, we the strong friend, which means that we're dealing with internal battles that nobody knows about, because we too busy being the strong. I tell you all the time, the S on the chest, that's a myth. I no longer want to carry that. Somebody else, anybody want to volunteer for my cape? I'm done with that. It's hard doing that. But I also know how I rock, and I can do me alone, and I'm okay with that. But I did have to pull myself out of a dark place by myself, and I'm not the only one. There's millions of us out there pulling ourselves out of a dark place, but sometimes the place gets dark and you get comfortable and you can't make it out. Life sucks you in and it pulls you in, and we've all gone through it. And if you haven't gone through a storm, keep living, what my grandmama used to say, because you in one, you either in it, you just came out of it, or you finna go through one. That's just how life is. When I was going through, everybody said, oh, you go through hell before you get your breakthrough. And I'm like, it's some more shit after this, or it's worse than, like, what am I? Everybody keeps saying that, but what if this is supposed to be heaven for us and we've turned it into a hell? We've taken on more than we were supposed to, because they say God won't put more on you than you can bear. I'd like to ask somebody that question, like, how much can I bear? Who knows? Like, nobody knows how much you can bear until you in it and you don't see no way out. So let me know if this triggered, because I keep thinking of other things that trigger. So let me know if you think these will work, if I should do more. I'm going to do more regardless. But let me know if you rock with it. I'm almost at 10 minutes. I think y'all can give me a few minutes. Y'all be watching that other stuff longer than that, and it ain't interesting. So give me 10 minutes. I'm going to keep them all up under 10 minutes. And we're going to talk about being triggered, because I can think of 100 other words that trigger me. And it's probably just miscommunication. I don't think the lady mean that I was ugly, but when she said it the next time, I'm gonna be like, and I don't care where I'm at, you motherfucking right I am. And I was then too. Y'all just prefer something different. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I get that. But I've gone through hell, I've danced with the devil himself, and I came out unburnt, unscathed. You're right, I look good because I earned it. I'm gonna make more of these, promise you.